Yes. I got cool. That's awesome. So you can do that even without me going through it then. Okay. Now you have a choice when you do these. I think we've talked about this before. The issue with this particular example is that my negative sign is in front of my x, and that's what I need to solve. So remember when we were rearranging and we were trying to change the subject and our new subject had a negative sign, it's often better to try and make that term or that part of it positive first. So my suggestion to you is if you're ever not so confident when doing stuff like this, is to just change all of the signs first of all. So I would change this to be negative 7 plus 3x and equals negative 1. Now what I've done is I've made sure that my x is positive, and now I can start undoing things. That means moving things from one side to another and doing the opposite operation. Elsa?
Some random question, is 1 minus 7 negative?
Is 1 minus 7
Yeah.
negative 6? Yes.
Yeah. I have a question. Does it matter if you go?
No, it doesn't matter. So I'll go through two options. So this is, let me do this option on this slide. So this is having changed all of my signs. Okay? If I do that, I'm trying to get x on its own, so I have to add 7 to both sides. And I end up with 3x equals 6. And then I'm dividing both sides off. So it gives me x. No, so if I had started off with this as I might normal, I could take away 7 from both sides, and then I would have negative 3x negative 6. Okay, so that's the only difference, is that my negative sign I need to make sure belongs with my screen, with my x. Oh, that's clever. Oh, my idiot. What's going on? Okay, so our final step is to I don't know where I've got 3 and 4 now. So divide by negative 3. Let's just oh, for goodness sake. Oh. Still doing stuff. All right, so we would divide by negative 3 on both sides. So we get x equals 2. So either way you do it, you get positive 2 as your answer. But the only suggestion here is to make your life a bit easier in that you're not worrying about dividing by negative numbers. Okay? So if I was to do that on this one, I would have negative 13 equals positive 1 plus 7x. I then subtract 1 from both sides to get negative 14.
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
But it's about the short dollar one again.
Okay.
Wait, I can figure it out.
Okay, let me just finish this one. So we get negative 2 equals x.
I have a question. So on the other, like on the right hand, one.
Girls, listen, please.
On the right hand equals part of the first part of it. How do you get 1 minus 7 equals negative?
Because that's what that is. Because I took away 7 from both sides.
So 1 minus 7.
1 minus 7 is negative 6.
So mine's about the next one. So for the other one, you changed both sides.
So I changed all of the signs on the right, left-hand side. Now, if I were to keep it as my original question, which is what I've got here, I would add 1 to both sides. Yeah? So I would have 14 equals, and this is, so the reason I do it is because lots of people just forget that that negative sign's there, and they would just write 7x, but it's negative 7x. Okay? So then we divide both sides by negative 7, and when you have a positive number divided by a negative one, our answer is negative.
I like that.
Okay, so it really doesn't matter which one you do. If you're used to just sticking with the original question, that's totally fine. But please just make sure you don't lose your negatives at any point. Okay? Julia, are you watching? Okay, this is where the equation x is on both sides. Okay, is everyone on the next page now? So we've learned stuff about rearranging like this. It's going to be just, well, no, that's a lie. It's going to be very similar. We need to join our x's together if we can. Okay, so I can see that I've got a -4 on the right hand side and a 7 on the left. So I'm going to bring everything to be the left hand side. Remember, it doesn't matter which side of the equal sign you're putting them, as long as you're consistent. So I'm going to add 4x to both sides. Yes. For some reason, it doesn't work when it's attached to the docking station. But thank you for suggesting it. All right, so I've got 11x take away 14 is 19. So I've got rid of my -4x. What should I now do? Ava Rossa, what should I now do? What do you mean you do it the other way?
Like, I don't change the whole thing.
I haven't. It's a different kind of question, Angel. Yep, you're going to add 14 to both sides. So we have 11x is equal to 19 plus 14. Anyone?
33. Divided by 7.
Okay, so tell me what's right. Ladies!
You have to expand.
Yep.
So 5 times 3x is 3x plus 25 equals 14x minus 8. And then you would try to get x on one side. So since 14x is smaller, I would subtract 14x. Which would be x. So x is 25 equals -8. Then I would subtract 25. So x is -33.
Lovely, thank you. Does everyone get that?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, okay. So Julia, tell me what to write.
So first we would put the 3 to the other, you would do the cross thingy.
Yeah, so that one's going up there, and that one's going up there.
Yeah, so it would be 3 bracket 2x plus 1 equals 4 bracket 3 minus 4x.
Good, and it's great you're using brackets because we need to make sure we're multiplying everything by those numbers. Good.
Then you would, what is it called?
Yes,
yeah. So I'm going to extend the bracket to be 6x plus 3 equals 12 minus 16x. Do you want to answer anything else?
Do you have a question?
Yeah.
Yeah?
If I just straight, like, if I make up the bracket part, like on the test, because I just, like, take it off and I'll put it on the test.
No, you shouldn't. But I would suggest that you wrote it in there, just in case you made, like, because sometimes test anxiety makes people make silly mistakes. So you might have written 6x plus 1 by mistake. So instead of 6x plus 3. So I would always just write it. It takes 2 seconds and you've got plenty of time in a test situation to do it. So yeah, so it's not like you would lose marks for not having done it, but just in case, then at least I could give you a mark for showing that, even if you made an error later. Okay?
Okay. Then you would do, would you minus 6?
Well, you've got a choice here. So you've got 6x's on the left, but you've got -16x on the right.
So you would add 16?
Yes, I would.
Yeah. And then
Because otherwise you're going to end up with negative numbers, yeah?
we would add 16 that side, and then it'd be 22 plus 3 equals 12. And then you minus 3.
then that doesn't simplify, so you leave it as a fraction. Yeah? Next one. Are we good?
Other side, other side.
Gabriella? Hang on, can I? What to say? Ready? Go. Lovely. Awesome. Good. Yep.
I don't do it on both sides, but you minus 4x on that side, and then you minus 4x on the other side.
Do you want to minus 4x?
I mean plus 4x, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so always doing the opposite.
And then that equals 9x plus 5 equals 2. And then you do 9x, and then you minus 5, sorry.
Sorry, I gave you a clue there.
And then 9x equals 2 minus 5. Yeah, 2 minus 5.
Which is?
Negative 3. And then you do x, yeah, and then you divide by yeah.
Okay, and what about negative 3 over 9? Do we leave it like that?
And then you
Good, so that's negative 1 over 3. So always simplify your fractions. Don't leave it like that. If you're not sure, just chuck it in your calculator, but leave it as the fraction. Don't write it as the decimal, especially ones like that because it's a recurring decimal. Yes, Julia?
So you would just, to get negative 1 over 3, would you divide by 3?
So yeah, you're dividing both top and bottom by 3.
Why not divide by negative?
Because you'd have 1 over negative 3 then, so you'd always have a negative number somewhere. So remember, the whole fraction is negative, not both numbers. It's just one of them. Okay.
I get it.
Aaron?
Can I do the next one?
Mm-hmm.
So you do, so the highest common
Secretly lowest common denominator.
So that's 6. So you multiply.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, you multiply by.
So you multiply the bottom of the 2 by 3, so that would be 3x plus 1. I mean, in brackets, 3 in brackets, x plus 1.
Okay, make sure you put the x plus 1 in the bracket, not the 3. Yeah?
And then you do the same except for the other side except with 2, so it's 2 in brackets, 2x plus 1.
Yep.
And then you expand the brackets. So now 3x plus 3. And then you do plus 2x. Sorry, 4x. Plus 2. And then you collect the like terms. So you do 3x plus 4x plus 7x. And then plus 5 over 6. And then you multiply the 9 by the 6.
Yeah.
The next one is 5.
Oops.
Plus 5 equals 56. I mean, 54. And then you minus 5.
I'm going to go back over to here now.
And then you minus 5. So 10x. And 54. Minus 5. So that's 7x equals 49. And you divide by 7 on both sides. So 7 would be, x would be 7.
Lovely.
I got it right.
Awesome. Now, this one looks a bit different. Okay, anyone suggest what we might do here? Cheyenne?
First you would, well, I put negative 1 over 1. So make that into a function. And then, like what we did last time. So you just have the common denominator.
Okay. Yeah, you can totally do that. But let me do this though. So you can completely know that that's over 1 and focus on the left-hand side and make that a common denominator of 3. Now, so, yep, so we've got a 3. So this one's fine. It's 2x minus 7. And then what would we do here? So you're timesing both by 3, yeah?
Oh, so, wait, why would it be over 5?
That's a 3.
Wait, why would you, is that one? Okay.
Because to join things together, they have to have the same denominator, don't they? And 1,
Why do you put, like, why do you put 1 over 1? Can you just do this making sense?
well, because it's a whole number. So whole numbers have a denominator of 1, and we want them to have the same denominator. So Cheyenne's chosen 3 as our common denominator. Yeah? I'll go through another option in a second. Maybe you prefer that one, so you don't have to write it down yet. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's my other option. All right, keep going, Cheyenne. Pardon? Yeah. Okay, then what would you do?
Then you would write 2x minus 10 over 3 is equal to x minus 4 over 6.
Oh yeah, got that. Yeah, so these bad boys, because you've got fraction equals fraction. So then what would I write?
Then you would write 6 in brackets 2x minus 10.
Yeah.
3 over bracket x minus 4.
Yeah.
Factorizing that, 12x
Expanding, Kelly.
expanding, 12x minus 60 equals 3x minus 12.
Yep.
And then
Ace boy doesn't need a coffee, we're good.
and then you divide by 9 on both sides.
Does this simplify? Anything go into 48 and 9?
No, you would just
You sure? Yeah, 3 goes into both, yeah. So it's going to become 16 over 3. Yeah? Yeah, so that's leaving it in this order. Where are you going? Oh. So that's leaving it in this order. Now your alternative is we had 2x minus 7 over 3 take away 1 equals x minus 4 over 6. Now, if we look at the question above, we had our two fractions grouped together and then our number on the other side. So what you may prefer is to rearrange this so it looks more similar to that one up above. So what we could do is we could add 1 to both sides. So we would have 2x minus 7 over 3 equals x minus 4 over 6 plus 1. And then we could take this fraction away from both sides. So we would then have 2x minus 7 over 3 take away x minus 4 over 6 equals positive 1. So essentially what I've done is I've switched these two things over. So I've got now the 2x minus 7 over 3 take away this fraction, and that's now equal to positive 1. So I've got my two fractions on the left-hand side. So some people prefer to do that because they're not great at dealing with whole numbers. Okay, so if you do prefer to do that, that's completely fine. You can do it in one step, so you can do the switching over. You don't have to do it in baby steps. You can switch both of them at the same time. Now what I can see is I've got a 3 and a 6, so my common denominator now is going to be 6. So I've got x minus 4 here, and then I need to just multiply these two by 2. Okay, So I've got 2 lots of, oh my gosh, I'm getting crap. 2x minus 7 over 6. So, oh, that still equals 1. Hang on one second, Julia. Is that question? Yeah. Gonna,
So for showing this one,
yeah.
why would you? Oh, why is it 10?
Because negative 7 take away 3 is negative 10. Yeah? So then we've got 4x minus 14 over 6 take away. Now, this is where you've also got to be careful because we're taking away both of these two things, remember? So we've got a single denominator, and then we've got 4x take away x, so that's our 3x. But we've got negative 14 take away negative 4. So if you've got negative 14 take away negative 4, you're adding on 4, which gives us negative 10. Equals 1. And then you're going to multiply both sides by 6, so we get 3x minus 10 equals 6, plus 10 and divide by 3. Okay, so I can't do it, my hands really hurt me.